Welcome back to the Home Turf Podcast. It's me, Hunter Mitchell, joined here by my co-host, Cade Harris.
Yes, sir. We are back again. Volleyball podcast.
Volleyball, a shining light of this fall semester.
Yes, definitely. Probably the biggest shining light of Texas A&M athletics. Just to see the revival, I would say, of the Texas A&M volleyball program under first-year head coach Jamie Morrison, and I mean it's been needed. I
Yeah.
mean, for just the students and having a team to support, because I mean, we talked a little bit of soccer just a little bit ago, and they've kind of turned a page and they're playing well. But football team's been disappointing recently, and so it's gonna be fun to talk about a winner.
This feels like you said turning a new page with soccer. This feels like opening a whole new book.
Right.
This feels like they put a book on the shelf and took out a new one and started writing in it, because this is unprecedented in the last few years. I mean, A&M volleyball had a I wouldn't say storied history. I mean, they were good for a while.
Early on in the SEC, like these middle years of the SEC, they were very competitive in the conference.
Yeah.
And like they would go to Kentucky and they'd win. Like they were a force to be reckoned with in the SEC.
Yeah,
and
now
they're kind of getting back to that.
Dropped off, but yeah, now getting back, like you mentioned. I mean, we talked about how big it was beating Florida. That was crazy. Beating Florida 3-2 on the road, huge. Florida's dropped since then, but I mean, it's still a road victory against a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
You would like to have that win against Missouri. That was kind of a weird one.
Man.
But since then,
they'd have 6 in a row if they would have won that Missouri game.
Yeah, be 15-3. I mean, 14-4 is still. Don't get me wrong.
And only one loss. They would be 7-1 in the SEC.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at their 4-game winning streak at Ole Miss 3-1, at Mississippi State 3-0, at LSU 3-1. 3 road conference wins comfortably. And then you sweep South Carolina at home.
That's crazy.
Man, that is really crazy.
9-2 in sets in those 3 games on the road.
That's ridiculous. You love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's you do love to see it, because you saw a little bit of success early on in Bird's tenure, and then it was a fall off, and it was really tough to go to these volleyball games and be a fan of the team. And now it's fun, so I'm excited
it's
about
really
that.
fun, and I mean, really fun this coming up Friday. Rematch with Florida at home.
Oh yeah.
A bye week. No midnight yell to have to go to Friday night.
I expect some big support for this.
I think
this team and the soccer team on the Thursday. Like, it's two huge games in soccer and volleyball coming to College Station this week.
Yeah, a sweep against Florida would be amazing for A&M's resume. But like as of right now, again, volleyball doesn't get as much media coverage as other sports. So basketball is doing bracketology from week 1, but not too much. But I mean, I have found a few bracketologies online, and from what it looks like, a lot of people have A&M comfortably in. And which is again, we haven't seen that in years.
Right.
A&M being in the tournament, sweeping Florida, who again went and beat some of the top teams in the country earlier on in the season. At home, you like to take care of business. It's the Maroon Out match.
Fun.
Huge game, monumental game. Because you look forward at the rest of their schedule. You got Georgia at home, should win. At Tennessee is a tough one, winnable, but it's tough. You drop them on the road, that's a tough one. Alabama should be a win. Auburn should be a win. At Missouri should also you need to win that one. You need a split against Missouri.
Yeah.
That's a Missouri team you should have beaten the first time at home, but now you need to get redemption on the road. At Kentucky is going to be really tough. Kentucky has dropped from top 25, but it's still a very good team. So I would say, that'll be a tough one. It's definitely, again, it's weird to say this, but I feel like every game for this A&M team going forward is winnable.
I mean, it's hard to disagree. They've beaten probably the best, if not like the top 2 of what they have left on their schedule already. In Florida, so I mean, yeah, the games at Kentucky and at Tennessee are going to be very tough, but there's no reason why this team can't go into that environment and win.
Yeah,
Like,
Kentucky has dropped from top 25, 8-7 now. A little bit of a fall from grace, but I mean that's a tough road environment. I mean they did just go on the road and sweep Tennessee, who is highly ranked. Um, so SEC is weird. College sports is weird. So you never know who you're gonna get. But those two games against Tennessee, for to make you feel real comfortable, you want to split
split.
those. If you win both, crazy good. But you at least want to at least win at home, protect your court. Kentucky, you'd like to snag that one too. But going forward, I think if you have 3 losses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
And
9, 10, 10
yeah,
games left. You get 3 losses there. That's
it's not an SEC championship, but it's enough to
it's
get a.
24-7.
Yeah, I mean that's. I don't
Or
think
no,
that's
sorry, not
enough
24,
to.
21-7. Sorry,
I
no,
still don't think that's enough for an SEC championship.
no, but I'm just saying,
But
like,
oh yeah, I mean yeah,
comparatively
right.
to what like it has been, I think 21-7. I think volleyball, it kind of follows that same usually numerical rule where you like to see like basketball teams at, and like 21-7 is single digit losses,
Oh yeah, I mean
like
you would have
20 wins.
paid money to have that record at the start of the season. Like
Yeah.
if that's what someone told you, like you would say that. No, you would take that with no questions asked. I mean, that's it's very impressive what this team has done.
Yeah.
Like just from where they were last year and under a new coach first year,
Mhm.
it's really impressive what Morrison has done.
Man, biggest thing he has done for sure, and it's a complaint I had definitely watching A&M volleyball the last couple of years, is defensively, like at the net. We've talked about it before. No competition. Now, Cossack Paula is one of the best blockers in the entire country. Morgan Perkins, second in the conference in blocks per set, just won Defensive Player of the Week. Now A&M's had 3 Defensive Player of the Week awards and 2 different people. You've got Atal Pio, who is a force at the net. And then offensively, we talked about it. Logan Lednicki is when she times her jumps perfectly and hits it, you are not
Scary.
you are not receiving it. You are praying to whoever your god is, that it does not hit you in the face. It is. She has a cannon.
Yeah.
And to compliment her, Caroline Muth is Caroline Muth has been what Caroline Muth has been her whole career. So man, it's just really impressive to see that. And going forward, I mean, that's just the recipe. Is be that defensive team, be that team that's going to stuff you at the net, give your offense touches, and just feed your studs. I mean, A&M. It's
Okay, Petrino.
yeah. I think. Spoiler alert, I think getting your ball to your best players is how you win the game. I mean, A&M is number 1 in the entire country in blocks per set.
Wow.
The entire country, number 1. And that is something that last year you wouldn't even get close to sniffing. Ifena Cossack Paula still blocks per set in the country by a wide margin. She is .20 over in blocks per set from number 2. Number 2 is 1.61. She is 1.87.
That's crazy. I mean, and she's not even like super tall
She's
either.
6'2".
Like that's
Number 2 is 6'4". Number 3 is 6'3". It's just, yeah, you don't. It has to. I mean, you don't want to. I'm not trying to put a lot of eggs in a lot of baskets really early, but I mean, you have to think that Morrison has come in here and really like changed the identity, and shown that he knows what he wants, and he really has just completely took who is on this team and changed them around, and is really playing into what appears to be their strengths. And man, it has paid. It has paid dividends. I mean, and even offensively, A&M is 26 in the country in hitting percentage,
man.
way above what they were last year. It's just really refreshing to see a team that will go out and compete with anybody.
Mm.
Because it just hasn't been like that.
No.
And I think everyone's kind of rallying around that, and I think that volleyball is seeing an uptick in attendance, and it's building hype and it's building momentum, and I think that's what you have to have as a first year head coach is momentum. I think you have to get the student body behind you and kind of rally the troops, because it's a scramble in the beginning. Like you don't know where you're gonna be at. You know where your team's gonna be at. You're coming from a losing team, and he has done a masterful job. I think he's done an SEC Coach of the Year caliber job.
If he's not the SEC Coach of the Year, I think that
If they go 7-3 in these last 10 games, I do not see any way, shape, or form he is not.
I mean,
Um,
I do because voting committees, whatever, they all hate A&M. But
I mean, Buzz has had some success winning.
that's
Coach of the
true.
Year.
He won it his first year.
Yeah,
Eh.
but I just think that turnaround is monumental for Morrison, and I mean, looking forward, it's doing a whole lot for recruiting as well. It's got to, I mean, A&M Texas is a big hotbed for all kinds of recruiting. So just having that accessibility, and having that hotbed to recruit from is huge if you have success this season. But even in this season, just making the tournament your first year after 3 years of mediocrity, 4 years of mediocrity is super, not just impressive. It is like hats off. But you got to make it there. Right now, like one of the projections I'm looking at, and again, this is all with a grain of salt. This is from Volleyball Talks. This is like a discussion board. So
Yeah.
take this with a handful of salt. It's just that it's tough finding actual experts who are breaking it down this early.
Right.
They have A&M listed in the Lincoln Regional as a 4.
Yeah. I said that was a lot like having to go to Norman for softball, like for the
Yeah.
Norman Regional. Cause,
Yep, that's a tough one.
that is extremely tough. And I probably wouldn't expect them to get out of the Sweet 16 against Nebraska. But could you imagine if Morrison did that in year one? Just like
I think just
went to Lincoln and knocked down that powerhouse.
Yeah, I think even just making it like passed around in the NCAA tournament for this team, like from what it has been, is amazing considering how young this team is. Logan Lednicki, sophomore. Ava Underwood, sophomore. Margot Manning, freshman. Let's see.
Atal is a
Pio, she's
sophomore.
freshman. She's a freshman. She redshirted last year.
Oh yeah, so yeah,
So
redshirt freshman.
so she has 2 years of volleyball experience, but she's a freshman.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and even like Muneke, freshman. Like this is a young team, and they're doing this right now.
Yeah.
So just imagine,
Finn is a sophomore too.
yeah, Finna Costa, the best blocker I'll say the best blocker in the entire country. Her numbers back her up. This team in 2 years could be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this right now, they have Caroline Muth, who's a grad
Yeah,
student,
Caroline Meese graduating.
Molly Brown, who is a redshirt junior, Nisa Buzlatepe, who is a junior,
Yeah.
and then Lauren Hogan is a senior. Everyone
Yeah.
else on the team is a sophomore or below.
Ava steps in that defensive
And
specialist
I
role.
didn't even say like the players who really mean the most to this team. Yeah, like Nisa and Caroline Muth and Logan, obviously,
Yeah.
critical players on the team. But
Yeah, Muth,
there's
Muth
so
leaving,
much
you've
more
got-
depth that
exactly.
can back them up, and like this roster is set up for now and for the future.
Yeah, like this roster is winning now, and Logan as a senior, Ava as a senior, Muneke as a junior, Lapio as a junior, Manning as a junior. Like that is going to be when this team is really like mature. Man, this could be a top. We'll see how this shapes out. This is
Yeah,
a hot take. I'm
I
gonna
mean-
say. I think this could be a top 5 caliber team coming in 2 years. If they
In the country?
yes.
Wow.
If they continue to win and make the tournaments and recruit really well and get elite level freshmen, like get those recruits in that complement a really experienced team.
Also continuing to use the portal well because
Yes,
they have
you have
they
to-
have
you
used
have-
it well.
That's a whole I could have a whole transfer portal episode. I am addicted to the transfer portal. I love the transfer portal so much. It is free agency for college sports without having to worry about contracts.
Yeah, you just have to worry about contracts that you know absolutely nothing about in
Exactly.
NIL.
I don't have to look at it. I don't have to worry about it. It's fine by me.
Yeah, I guess I can't stand it. I can't stand the transfer portal and all of. I understand kids who do need to transfer, like all of that, like moving home for like various issues, whatever they need to take care of. But it's the kids that transfer away because they don't feel like they don't want to compete for a spot. Like you just go through your freshman year and you're like, well shoot, I didn't play, so I'm just gonna go transfer and try to play somewhere else. No, like fight for your spot. Like whatever happened to that? Like that just doesn't happen in the real world these days. It's like, oh, I don't know, I'm not getting as much whatever on my job. Like they're not, and then so you're just gonna go try and find another one like that easy. Like it's not gonna be as easy as just entering in the transfer portal and have everyone try and throw money at you to come join your school. Life's not like that.
I hear you. I see you. I love the transfer portal.
Well, from a fan's aspect, it is kind of fun.
Oh no, it's so fun. That's why I love it, and that's why I think like you look at like a lot of teams from A&M, and I think the good ones, football. I think the good teams are finding the players in the portal and building them around like what they want, because those players are you at least have some college tape on them, so you can really try to get who you want to fit your system. And I think early on Morrison has done this extremely well. I think he will continue to do it well. And I think he's going to get more big time transfer recruits and transfers and recruits as well. This team's future is looking really bright. They got to go tackle Florida again. I always say in any sport it's hard to beat anybody twice. And it's hard to beat a really, really good team twice. So they're going to have to really go out there and
Good news is you already beat them on the road.
beat them on the road, and you get them at home. You get 12th man behind you. Perfect week. Maroon out Friday night. No football next day. You got plenty of time to go to the game, go home, get some
No
rest.
football the next day. Let's go.
Yes, finally.
Let's go.
Reprieve.
We're not gonna lose. All right.
Oh man. So that should be a really huge game. I think you really, really would like to go out there and win that one. But 6-4, 7-3, 8-2 would be absolutely monumental. If this team continues to just win out and win, we'll be seeing them in postseason play.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But they just got to go and take care of business.
At this point, I'll be shocked if they don't make the postseason.
Yeah, it would take a monumental collapse
Good job.
for this team not to make postseason. They're hot right now. They'll stay hot. But for us, that is it for this episode of the Home Turf Podcast. I'm Hunter Mitchell.
I'm Cade Harris.
Maybe we'll catch y'all next time.